And we'll find out why this shiny green moth is getting conservationists in a flap in the southeast of England. Now, our next guest says her jaw dropped when she spotted a Forester moth in Essex, because it's the first time one of these has been seen in the area in more than 50 years.
And then, later the same day, a second moth was spotted nearby. So what does this tell us about the world around us?
Let's speak to Fiona Hutchings. She's going to tell us about her discovery. And here in the studio is Liana Fernandez, an ambassador for the Butterfly Conservation Group. Good morning. Good morning to you. Should we start with you, Fiona? Tell us about your discovery then. So take us to the moment when you saw the moth.
So I was doing a botanical survey in a field, and I saw this green thing just zip past me. I thought, oh, I wonder if that's a green beetle. So I went and caught it in my sweep net. When I opened the net up, I was just astounded. I knew exactly what it was. You know, you have a look through the field guides and you go, oh, I'd love to see that species, and I'd love to see that species. And this was one of the ones I'd love to see. I actually thought it was dead because it was laying on its back. But I potted it, and then I took it over to Rob Smith, who's the county butterfly recorder for Cambridgeshire and Essex. Yeah, he said to me, Fiona, I never know what you're going to bring me, if it's going to be a moth or a butterfly or a beetle. And I just gave it to him, and his mouth just dropped open and he just stared at it. He was like, that's a Forester.
And Fiona, just for people who wouldn't have recognised what a Forester is, how long is it since one of these has been spotted before, and how shocking, surprising was that find?
Oh, well, it was just astounding. You know, it's last been seen in Essex in 1974, or rather last recorded in Essex. The field club that I was out with, they held the database of biological records. So we, at lunchtime, we had a look on the website because Peter Harvey, who's our county moth recorder for Essex, he said he hadn't had a record for years, but he wasn't sure how long.
And just like buses, then another one turns up on the same day. But, look, I don't want to ruin the excitement, but are you sure it wasn't the same moth the second time? Do they not all look pretty similar?
Well, Rob had taken a photo of the one I caught, and then he took a photo of this second one. And we can tell because some of the scales had been taken off when my moth was caught in the net. The second moth looks absolutely pristine. So we can, you know, certainly say that it's a different moth.
It's a different moth.
Also, my moth was male.
Oh, okay. There's a significant difference there.
I think they're different then. Yeah.
So, Liana,
yes.
how unusual are these moths?
So I don't think, in terms of the Forester's rarity, it's not that it's rare across all of the UK, but rather it's really rare in wide areas of it. So before, when we had those original populations that Fiona spoke about, they would have been able, the larger populations were conjoined and able to intermingle easier. But now they'll be attempting to fly between these kind of isolated, more fragmented pockets. So a find like this is so amazing because it's physical proof it's present in an area that we weren't sure it still was. So we can now focus our conservation efforts in a more increased way to restore it to its original population size.
And does it tell us anything about the climate, our environment, the weather?
Well, moths and butterflies are amazing indicator species, so we can use their population numbers and their general health to assess and come up with an environment surrounding health. So if the moths are doing well, then we know that the environment is doing well, and that includes the Forester, so yeah.
And we talk a lot, don't we, about how to, you know, increase the types of habitat for moths and butterflies at the moment. Do you think people are paying attention to that and listening?
I think so. We have actually butterfly conservation from the 18th July to 10th August. They have one of the world's biggest citizen surveys, science surveys of its kind, which is known as the Big Butterfly Count. And everybody takes part in that. Anyone can. You know, it's 15 minutes. You go outside and you count how many of and what type of butterflies you see. And that kind of science then can be used to determine what kind of conservation we need to do for different populations. And I've seen lots of people take part in that. I think it was something like over 80,000 people took part in it last year.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of people caring about butterflies, yeah.
Leanna, Fiona, thank you so much. The sun's shining there in Essex this morning. It's good to see. I keep looking to see whether another one is just going to fluttering by, but sadly not. But keep your eyes open. Let us know if you see a third one, Fiona. Great to see you.
Will do.
Ian's been in touch. He said they should call it Kate. Kate Moth.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's like one of your jokes.
Yes, it's even worse. Right.